What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and I am here today with the review for Tyler Perry's The Oval. This is Season 1, Episode 13, you guys, and it's titled Fear of God. So, you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump right into this episode review. Alright, you guys, so, we're back from the mid-season finale, and to be quite honest with you guys, I had literally forgot about this show. Not really forgot about it, but I did forget the characters. Like I spent a good few minutes trying to figure out like who was who, because I couldn't figure out. I couldn't remember everybody right off the bat. So this episode, I'm gonna start off with Richard, Nancy, and Barry. So I remembered I forgot at the end of the first half with the mid-season finale that Barry came outside of the house with that jacket on, with that knife up under his jacket. I completely forgot about that. I completely forgot about that. So the cops, they checked him. Dumbass has a knife on him. I'm like, that was smart of you. So, they're questioning him. Richard tells Barry, like, Barry, do not say anything. You have an attorney. Shut up. And so he's like, okay, so the cops arrest Barry. So then once they get Barry in the car, they come back to Richard and Nancy, and they're like, so who called the cops? And they look, they're like, oh, so you're not going to answer us. So Richard says, we called the cops. And they're like, so what's going on? They say, well, a girl committed suicide in the house. So then, they ask them questions as if they killed her when they just said she committed suicide. So then the female cop asks a dumbass question of, is the body still in there? Where the hell else is the body gonna go, Sheriff Sam? Where's it gonna go? So, the cops cuff Richard and Nancy. I'm like, why are y'all cuffing them? They literally just told you that she committed suicide. So then the dumbass cop goes in the house and she gets on her radio and she says, I need homicide here. I'm like, homicide? There is blood splatter on the walls. Look at her body. Why would someone shoot her in her mouth? Come on. Homicide. God, those cops are so incompetent. So, the detective shows up, and the detective is questioning Richard and Nancy. And they're asking if they knew Tally, and they said, no, we didn't really know Tally like that. I mean, she was a part of the, Rakadushi, that cult. And, she came over here with my granddaughter's mother and kidnapped her. So then the detective is asking them, was Nancy angry about, them taking a baby? Well, of course, she would be a little bit angry, but angry enough to kill this girl who committed suicide? I think not. So Richard tells Nancy, like, Nancy, stop talking. She's like, what? He's like, stop talking, Nancy. So he tells us detective, he's like, you might want to go ahead and just arrest us right now. So he's like, okay, take him down, take him. So then a neighbor comes over and he questions her about would Barry and Nancy kill somebody? She says they are God fearing people. He says, what about Richard and Nancy? And then he asks her about Barry. She says, man, get the hell out of my face. I'm like, thank you. So then her name is Jody, by the way. So she calls Sam and she tells Sam about, the fact that, Richard and Nancy were arrested as well as Barry, and the cops rolled out a body. So then Sam, he's at the White House and he gives Max some instructions, and Max is like, well, the first lady and the family are on their way back, and he says, how much time do we have? So he tells him, he says, okay, let's do this. We're gonna go dark in 10 minutes instead of 30 minutes. So yeah, they go black. So then we see Sam. So Sam he went and talked to Priscilla, and he tells Priscilla that, yo, like, I gotta go over and check on Richard and Nancy because I heard something happen over there. So I'm gonna go check that out. And then Priscilla asks him how long until they can go back to work. So he tells her, and she's, I got ahead of myself, you guys. Yeah, so he said he needs to go check out what happened with him. So then Gene comes in and asking how long are they supposed to be out of, I guess, like the West Wing or something? I don't remember what wing they were in. So, she was telling her like, girl, just just do this. Don't ask no questions. Let it the fuck be. So then Priscilla goes and asks Max, how long will they be out? How long will they be before they can go back to work? He tells her, and he's like, Max, I'm so sorry because I heard about what happened with Max. He says, yeah. He says, so is he coming to your cookout? She says, yes. He says, well, you might want to make sure that he stays away from you. She says, oh, you don't have to worry about that. I'm going to do that. So then Max is like, you know what? Priscilla, why don't you hold the elevator in the basement? She says, oh, until I get the all clear. She says, okay, I'll put Gene on that. I'm like, ooh, Max is getting his revenge on that damn Kyle, and I'm here for it. 100% her for it. All right, you guys. So Nancy is still with this detective. He's still grilling her about Tally, and I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure y'all saw the scene of what happened. Saw this scene. You can clearly tell that it is a suicide, not a homicide. What person do you know is gonna murder someone and shoot them in the fucking mouth? Most people will shoot you in the chest or in the head. Not gonna put a gun in your mouth unless they want to scare you. But even then, they're not gonna pull the trigger. They're just gonna put it in your mouth, just scare you just a little bit. But most people shoot you right here if they're gonna murder you, here, 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 or here, or here, wherever, or in your back. But they're never gonna shoot you. Oh, what kind of sense does that fucking make? So, the female cop they called in a homicide, she comes in and gets the detective, and he goes outside. And he talks, and Sam is out there. So the detective kind of lays it out because he asked him, "Why do you have Richard and Nancy here?" And he was telling him, he was like, "But so does it prove that it was a suicide?" He said, "Yes." So the thing is, what the real thing is, they have all that evidence mounting against Barry. And I'm thinking to myself, so if you guys have all this evidence mounting against Barry, why do you guys still have Richard and Nancy who didn't do anything? Like, it makes no sense. Like, this is unjust holding, to be quite honest with you. So, what's the reasoning that you guys are holding them? Oh, all right, you have none because you can rule this as a suicide, which it is. Tally committed fucking suicide. Tally's fingerprints are on the gun. I'm pretty positive. Tally's fingerprints are on the gun. I'm pretty sure Richard and Nancy's fingerprints are not on that gun. Like, this is stupid as hell. But it's also Tyler Perry, so whatever. I'm not gonna go too deep into that. But God, not Barry, but Sam, he tells the detective like, "Yo, I want all three of them." He's like, "I'll give you the two," but Barry is staying. He says, "No, I want all three of them." He calls it a favor. We don't really know what that favor is, but he says, "You know what? I'll give it to you." He said I was supposed to have a job in the White House. Judging by the way that you are as a detective, I don't think you need a job in the White House, buddy. If you are that dumb to not realize, if you are that dumb to bring two people down to the police station when they literally told you out of their mouths this girl committed suicide, and one of your cops go into the house and see that said girl committed suicide, and you still take said people down to the police station to question them about a suicide, that's stupid as fuck. Dumb as fuck. Dumb as all the fuck. Oh God. So then the detective, he goes back into the holding room with Richard and Nancy. He tells them that they're free to go. And it's all thanks to Sam. He says, we do have a mountain hill of evidence against Barry. We're gonna let him go, but once we get this DNA back, we'll be right back for him. So then, they go outside and they talk to Sam, and Sam tells them like, so what's up with this whole gun situation in the car? And Barry tells him, I'm not Barry, but Richard tells him like, yo, what happened is Barry and I were fighting over the gun. It went off, and we didn't know that it killed somebody. I'm still stuck on how that fucking happened. I'm still stuck on how the hell did that happen. How did a? Because I'm still thinking about this, you guys. Think about it. Barry and Richard shot the gun down. So if the gun is shot down into the it's shot down into the door. Okay, I'm cool with this shooting. I'm cool with it shooting through the door. How did it then? How did the bullet go through the door and then go through the house and hit that man and kill him? Make that shit make sense to me. That is still what baffles me to this day. How the fuck did that happen? But Sam tells him, where did Barry get the gun from? We asked where did Barry get the gun from. Richard said he's got it from Picky. He says, oh, that's an easy fix. And he says, Nancy, you might want to get in the car. She was like, why do I need to get in the car? He says, you might want to get in the car. And Richard says, baby, get in the car. So then, Sam tells him, like, yo, Picky, he dead. And we can put Picky, we can make Picky take the fall for all of this. He took Barry's car and he shot the gun. He said, so where's the gun now? He says, I got it back to Picky. Oh, he said, that's even better. Now, what about this knife situation? He says, now that one I can't answer. That is something that you're going to have to talk to Barry about. So, yeah, he says, okay, we'll talk to Barry about that one. I'm like, damn, so we're going to pin this on a dead person. I would do the same thing, but damn, that is fucked up. Let's move on, you guys. All right, you guys, so here's another situation that I'm still stuck on. This Hunter and Denise situation. So, Kyle is outside of the door. So nobody, I mean, not one person heard Denise get her head chopped off. Like nobody heard anything. Nobody heard any rumblings. No, nothing, nothing, nothing. I mean, you can hear when you can hear when a knife or anything tears into flesh. It is loud. So no one heard that. But okay, I'm gonna let it go. I am gonna let it go. Now Kyle, he was standing outside the room for a minute. He's like, you know what? He was like, damn, you a freak. I'm gonna give you 30 minutes. So then he goes in there, and that's when he sees the president passed out with the blood on him, and then Denise's body and head all over the place, and her blood all over the place. And I'm just still sitting like, so what? A ninja snuck in this place and killed her, and nobody knew that. Literally, a ninja must have snuck in. I'm gonna leave it at that. So then we see Victoria. So Victoria, Jason, and Gail, they're out to lunch with her mother. I'm sorry. Grandma is a bit of a bitch. Keeping it 100% real. I see where Victoria gets it from, and I see where Gail and Victoria both get their ways from. They get it from Grandma. But I'm sorry, Grandma gives me the creeps. I'm sorry, Grandma. I would have to poison her with some, cyanide or something like that. Cause the old bat, it's just something off about that woman. She's creepy as hell. So Gail is, she's kind of down, and she's like, "What's wrong with you?" She says, "I lost a friend." She's like, "Oh," and then she says, "The Secret Service killed him." She said, "No, he must have been really bad." I'm like, "Wow, lady, you don't care that the Secret Service killed a man? You ain't gonna ask, well, what happened?" I would literally slip Grandma something. So then she tells Jason to zip his pants up under the table. He says, "My pants aren't unzipped." She says, "Yes, they are." He says, "No, they're not." She says, "You want me to find out?" And then she goes to reach, he zips them up. I'm like, "Oh, that is nasty." First of all, how did she know? Ugh. So that means she was, ugh. That means she was looking down? What kind of incest shit is this? So then, she starts suggesting that they go to therapy. I'm like, wow. Even Victoria, she says, need to go to therapy. And I'm just like, okay. Something is wrong with that family. That family is weird. Super duper weird. So, moving back over to Kyle. So, Kyle is trying to get Hunter, he's telling him to take a shower. And, Kyle is cleaning everything up. Yeah, he's cleaning up everything up. I'm like, wow. I feel like, well, we know Kyle has done this before because he killed Picky, but I'm like, I feel like Kyle is an expert at cleaning up murder scenes. It just feels that way. Because, I mean, the way he was cleaning that shit up, I'm like, this brother has done that before. So then once Hunter gets himself cleaned up, Kyle tells him to go to the Oval Office, and he wants him to be on the phone with him on his way to the Oval Office, and he wants him to talk to him about the baseball game. And I'm like, but if you and if you listen to the way that Hunter was talking, I'm like, he was the way he was talking was completely incoherent. So I'm like, anybody could poke holes in that, but whatever. So then Max is looking. He's like, what is Kyle up to? He's like, oh, we're gonna have some fun with this. I'm like, oh shit. But again, like I said before, I am so here for this shit with Kyle and Max. So, now in the car, Victoria, Gail, and Jason, they're heading back to the White House. And Jason asks Victoria, like, why do you put up with Grandma? And I'm like, well, shit, can't you see it? Your mama is scared. And she says it. She says, well, actually, Jason said that she's afraid of her. He says, well, you need to learn how to be, you need to learn to be afraid of her too. Gail says, I'm not afraid of her. She says, I know that, but you should be. And then Gail's somebody, I want to be emancipated. I want to leave this family. And Victoria tells her, yeah, you can leave this family once we leave this White House. Victoria, and she's like, no, I want to leave now. She says, girl, Victoria look at her like, girl, shut the fuck up. You leave when we leave this motherfucking White House. I'm like, okay, Gail, you might want to just keep your mouth closed, little girl, and just, just kind of shut it on down. So then, let's move back over to Kyle, you guys. So Kyle, he has Denise's body. He's rolled her out of the bedroom, and I was kind of confused as to why he poured the red wine on the floor. That's not the same as blood, but whatever. So he's waiting for the elevator, and he calls for Sam, but instead of him getting Sam, he gets Max. And then he asks Max, like, what's going on with this elevator? And he says, oh, well, maybe the staff is holding it. I don't know. I'm like, I am here for Max and his pettiness. So then the elevator does come down, and as the elevator comes down, it's Gina. She sees, Kyle with the basket. She says, "Oh, I'll take it." He says, "No, you won't take it." She's like, "Is that blood?" He says, "Where?" She says, "Right there." And she pulls it back, and there is Denise's head, and she screams. I'm like, girl, when you saw the blood, I would have said, you know what? I would have looked at him and said, ooh, blood. You good. Keep it pushing. I wouldn't have questioned him. I would have just said, you know what? I don't care what the fuck going on. Let's move on, you guys. Alright, guys, so next we're going to close this episode review out with this long-ass dialogue between Bobby and Lily. But we're talking about Bobby, Lily, and Don. So when we first see Lily's dumb ass, she's in the car with Bobby. She says, I have a meeting with the First Lady at the White House. He says, she's not there. She says, well, how do you know that? He says, because, they closed down all the streets, and I told you before, I've done this. And then she says, I don't trust you. He says, I know. She says, well, why should I trust you? He says, you shouldn't. I'm like, why do we have to have all of that back and forth? And then he gives her an envelope, and it's photos of Don and Kyle. And then she starts crying. What is this? What is this? I'm like, Lily, sweetie, there are no tears coming out of your eyes, and those tears are very fake. So then she asks him, well, how do I know these are not fake? And he says, well, you can ask him. She says, I will. He says, be careful. And, they go back and forth. And I'm like, oh my God, this is stupid. Why is she going back and forth with him? He's in your car. All you got to say is, get out of my damn car. He says, no. Here you go. I got a good one for you. 911. 911. White lady in distress. They gonna come. Just say white lady in distress and they'll come running. But I mean, she just going back and forth with him, and then she finally says, "Get out, get out of my car, get out of my car." And then he says, "Well, if you need me," he named out the hotel that he's at. I'm like, "Oh wow, he's very bold." So then she gets a call from someone from the White House and saying that the first lady is running late. So now she sees that he was telling the truth. I'm just like, oh my God, why do we need? Why do we need all of that dialogue? I just did not understand all of that fucking dialogue. It really annoyed me, to be quite honest with you guys. But it is Tyler Perry, so what else can you say or expect from him? So then we see Lily. She goes over to the White House, and she's like, "Dawn, you should have told me about this before I came over here." Talking about the first lady not being there. I'm like, "Oh, I thought she was gonna really just go on ahead and bust him for sleeping with Kyle." So then she asked him to lunch. And he says, "Oh, baby, I have to work." So then she starts to come on to him, put her legs, between his legs, lift up her dress a little bit, start feeling all over him, try to grab him, and it ain't working. I'm like, girl, that's probably cold as a fish. So then she asked him, why did he marry her? He said, because I love you. She says, when we first got engaged, I felt like the luckiest girl in the world. I'm like, Lily, do me a favor, shut up. So then she asked him if he sent that man after her. He says, what man? The man that I shot. She says, something is off. So then he asked her if she slept with him, because she said, hey, I met him at the airport, and then he started seducing me. He said, so did you sleep with him? She said, did you sleep with him? He said, huh? What are you talking about? So then she shows him the photo. She says, are you and Kyle having an affair? And, he tells her, no. He says, she says, so am I your pawn? Am I your beard? And she says, are you gay? He says, no. He says, it's only been Kyle, and I broke things off with Kyle before we got married. She says, I'm filing for a divorce, Don. And Don tells her that is not going to happen, because the people that put them there, they're not going to let her file for a divorce. So I was thinking to myself, so I'm like, so does this mean that Victoria's parents are behind this as well? Wow. What a web we weave. But you guys, that was the episode. I enjoyed it. I have to say that it was funny to me. So be sure to like this video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification button so you guys know when I drop anything else. Please share this video, and until the next one, you guys, please stay safe, take care of yourselves, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.